honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base.
NaLyssa Thomas didn't hold back. She emphasized that it's completely unacceptable for players to face this kind of hate, especially when it comes to racist comments. She called on both the league and the Fever organization to step in, saying no player should have to deal with this. Thomas made her stance clear. While fans can be passionate, there's no room for hate speech. Her message was strong. This kind of behavior can't continue and something needs to change.
For people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, like, first of all, black people can't be racist.
Expressing her frustration with the hateful comments targeting her and her teammates. In a series of tweets, she called out the racism they've faced, saying it's deeply disturbing to see this kind of behavior from fans. Carrington made it clear that players deserve respect, both as athletes and as people, and that it's time for the league and organizations to take a stand. Her tweets quickly gained support, with many fans and fellow players rallying behind her message, highlighting that change is overdue.
Put everything on Fever fans, but I mean, just overall on social media, I mean, there has been so much hate spread, and even being on this team fan, I'm an AB fan, I'm a Caitlin fan, and just dispute hate off of that, and that's never okay. I feel like no matter who you are, what team you play for, like that's...
While Boston empathized with Thomas, she was quick to clarify that the actions of a few don't represent the entire Fever fan base. She noted that sometimes even her own fans act negatively when the team isn't performing well, adding that the media often shapes people's opinions without them watching the games themselves. This, she suggested, amplifies harmful narratives and perpetuates divisiveness. Boston also discussed how, when the team performs better, the negative comments tend to disappear, highlighting the fickle nature of fan engagement. She emphasized that trolls on social media often hide behind anonymity, but their behavior doesn't reflect true Fever or WNBA fans. The Indiana Fever's playoff journey has drawn to a bittersweet close, but the aftermath for stars Dijonai Carrington and NaLyssa Smith is far more unsettling. What began as a fierce on-court rivalry quickly spiraled into a harrowing ordeal marked by threats, harassment, and a shocking wave of racism. The intensity of competition gave way to an ugly reality that no athlete should have to face, casting a dark shadow over their achievements and the spirit of the game. The Indiana Fever's playoff journey has drawn to a bittersweet close, leaving fans and players alike with a mix of pride and disappointment. Yet for stars Dijonai Carrington and NaLyssa Smith, the aftermath of this intense competition has unfolded into a deeply unsettling experience. What started as a fierce on-court rivalry, filled with adrenaline and determination, quickly spiraled into a harrowing ordeal that transcended the game itself. Following the final whistle, instead of celebrating their remarkable efforts, Carrington and Smith found themselves grappling with a barrage of threats and harassment that no athlete should ever endure. The passion and intensity that fuel rivalries in sports can sometimes ignite fierce emotions, but in this case, it ignited a troubling wave of racism that has cast a dark shadow over their achievements. Social media, which often serves as a platform for connection and support, became a breeding ground for hate, where vitriol and intolerance spread unchecked. The gravity of the situation is alarming. As the harassment they've faced extends beyond mere words, it's a reflection of a broader societal issue that continues to plague sports and the communities surrounding them. This ugly reality starkly contrasts the values of respect, sportsmanship, and inclusivity that the game should embody. The impact of such negativity not only affects the player's mental and emotional well-being, but also tarnishes the spirit of competition itself, forcing us all to confront the darker sides of fandom and rivalry. As Carrington and Smith navigate this challenging chapter, they remind us that the fight against hate and prejudice must continue beyond the court, shining a light on the resilience of athletes and the urgent need for change in sports culture. Carrington, a rising star in the WNBA and the league's most improved player, has unfortunately become the target of severe online harassment, with much of the abuse coming from a vocal minority of Caitlin Clark's fan base. Racial slurs and violent threats have flooded her inbox, leaving her supporters and the basketball community outraged. In one of the disturbing messages she shared on Instagram, an anonymous user wrote, "Worthless B. I hope something terrible happens to you. Carrington's experience is a stark reminder of the toxicity that some fans bring to the game, highlighting the need for stronger measures to combat harassment and support athletes who face this kind of abuse. NaLyssa Smith, Carrington's girlfriend and a standout forward for the Indiana Fever, has courageously taken to social media to defend her partner and shed light on the full extent of the vile harassment they've been enduring. In a deeply personal and emotional post on X, formerly Twitter, Smith revealed the shocking reality of the abuse, writing, "My girlfriend has been getting death threats, followed and called all types of sot, so if sending her flowers to make sure her mental health is okay, then cry about it." Smith's post not only highlighted the disturbing nature of the attacks, but also underscored how the harassment has intruded into their personal lives and relationship. The couple has faced relentless abuse, with the threats escalating from cruel comments to full-blown intimidation, targeting both their identities and their love. The attacks have sparked widespread concern among fans and fellow players about the safety and well-being of WNBA athletes, especially as these incidents move beyond trash talk and into life-altering threats. The relentless nature of the harassment has raised questions about the league's ability to protect its players, both physically and mentally, in an age where online hate can quickly spiral out of control. The added layer of racism and homophobia in the attacks has only amplified the emotional toll on Carrington and Smith. For Smith, defending her partner has become more than just a show of solidarity. It's a necessary stand against a tide of hate that no athlete or person should ever have to endure. The situation serves as a heartbreaking reminder that, while progress has been made in creating inclusive spaces in sports, the battle against bigotry and intolerance is far from over. The crowd's behavior served as a harsh reminder that racism and ignorance still linger within some corners of sports fandom, undermining the spirit of inclusivity that the WNBA strives to uphold. Even Connecticut Sun forward Alyssa Thomas, who played a critical role in eliminating the Fever, used her platform to address the growing wave of harassment. During her post-game press conference, Thomas expressed her deep concerns about the situation, labeling the abuse directed at Carrington and Smith as unacceptable. She went on to urge the WNBA to step in and take immediate action, stating, "No one should have to deal with this level of hate, on or off the court. It's not just about basketball, it's about human decency." Thomas's statement resonated across the league, highlighting that this issue transcends competition. As a respected veteran, her call for action sent a powerful message that the WNBA must not only protect its players from physical harm, but also ensure they are shielded from the toxic environment that has crept into the sport, both online and in the stands. The crowd's behavior served as a harsh reminder that racism and ignorance still linger within some corners of sports fandom, undermining the spirit of inclusivity that the WNBA strives to uphold. Even Connecticut Sun forward Alyssa Thomas, who played a critical role in eliminating the Fever, used her platform to address the growing wave of harassment. During her post-game press conference, Thomas expressed her deep concerns about the situation, labeling the abuse directed at Carrington and Smith as unacceptable. She went on to urge the WNBA to step in and take immediate action, stating, "No one should have to deal with this level of hate, on or off the court. It's not just about basketball, it's about human decency." Thomas's statement resonated across the league, highlighting that this issue transcends competition. As a respected veteran, her call for action sent a powerful message that the WNBA must not only protect its players from physical harm, but also ensure they are shielded from the toxic environment that has crept into the sport, both online and in the stands. The tension between Dijonai Carrington and Caitlin Clark reached a boiling point during their intense playoff series. In one heated moment, Carrington accidentally poked Clark in the eye while attempting to block a pass. Later in the game, Clark retaliated with a swipe to Carrington's face, further escalating the on-court drama. What could have been left as part of the game quickly spiraled out of control as fans on both sides took to social media, fueling a firestorm of hate and personal attacks. Supporters of both players hurled insults, with some crossing the line into disturbing territory, amplifying the racial and personal attacks that had already been plaguing Carrington. While Clark also faced her share of online abuse, Carrington found herself at the center of a wave of racially charged harassment. The clash, which should have been a competitive moment, turned into a flashpoint for the ugliness of toxic fandom, with both players now dealing with the fallout from the game's emotional intensity. The aftermath continues to cast a shadow over both athletes, reminding us all of the dangers of letting sports rivalries bleed into personal and hateful attacks. Despite the wave of hatred, many within the WNBA community have come together in solidarity with Dijonai Carrington, rallying around her in support and demanding greater protections for players. Coaches, teammates, and fans alike have spoken out, denouncing the toxic behavior that has emerged from certain fan bases and calling for a shift in the culture surrounding the game. Players across the league have used their platforms to express their outrage and advocate for stronger measures to prevent harassment, emphasizing that this kind of behavior has no place in the WNBA or anywhere in sports. The growing support for Carrington highlights a collective determination to stand against the vitriol and ensure that athletes feel safe both on and off the court. The WNBA's future remains undeniably bright, with increasing fan engagement, rising stars, and competitive intensity driving its growth. However, as the league continues to evolve and expand its reach, it must confront these serious issues head-on. Addressing player safety, tackling online abuse, and fostering a more inclusive, respectful fan culture will be crucial to maintaining the momentum and securing a future where all players are supported and celebrated for their talents, not subjected to hate. Dijonai Carrington and NaLyssa Smith. The focus has shifted away from the game itself to a much more personal battle, protecting their mental health and safety as they navigate the disturbing wave of harassment. The constant threats, both online and in person, have taken a toll that no player should ever have to endure simply for playing the sport they love. As the WNBA finds itself at a critical crossroads, this moment serves as a call to action. The league, its fans, and its players must unite in confronting and dismantling the growing tide of hate. It's not just about protecting Carrington and Smith. It's about ensuring that every athlete, present and future, can compete in an environment that fosters respect, inclusion, and safety. Only by addressing these challenges head-on can the WNBA continue to build the bright, thriving future that it has worked so hard to create. The game isn't just about competition, it's about respect. And right now, that respect is missing. Every player deserves to compete without the fear of harassment or abuse, and it's time for the WNBA community to rally together. As we move forward, let's prioritize sportsmanship and empathy, ensuring that the culture surrounding the game reflects the values we hold dear. Together, we can reclaim the respect that is essential for the growth and integrity of the league. If you care about the future of women's basketball, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content on the WNBA and its amazing players.